long before we start up the movement? How long we gon' keep letting them do us? How long before we start up the movement? How long we gon' keep letting them do us? How long before we say fuck this piece shit and grab them clappers? How long before we lose our voices shouting Black Lives Matter? How long we gon' keep letting them disrespect our president? How long we gon' keep letting them terrorize our residents? I'm sick of this shit, it's word to Bernie Mac. How long before we police ourselves, take our own streets back? How long for Uncle Tom here and hate on this shit? How long before they take a shot at me for making this shit? How long I gotta wait for justice for Josiah Shaw? How long we gotta fake it till we can take it and whack 'em all? How long we not gonna make these youngins pull their pants up? How long we gonna keep letting them shoot us down with our hands up? How long we gonna keep killing our own and making these streets hot? How long will what I say to you stay with you when the beat stop? How long's your attention span? How long you watch the news? You ain't down to shake shit up with the rebels for the cause? I ain't talking to you.
Hey, yo, what's going on, everybody? How you doing on this Sunday evening? Welcome to Provoked Thoughts Live. Of course, it is your boy, Mr. Provoked Thoughts, and we are in the building on this Sunday. Make sure that if it is your first time coming into the live, checking us out, seeing what we're talking about, like, comment, share, subscribe. Do what you got to do, man. Shake a hand, make a friend, because right now, we're unifying in this piece. It's about unification. It has been a unification weekend, I'm trying to tell you. We got your boy Robert F. Kennedy dropping out of the race, having some of the most common sense speeches that you could ever have, and endorsing the next president of the United States, Mr. Donald John Trump, which was very, very epic. It was very, very inspiring to see that people are finally starting to wake up. People are finally starting to see the light, the actual light. And, you know, this is actually going to be a game changer if you really think about it. It's going to be a situation where a lot of people that have been silent supporters can now speak up. Those who couldn't make a decision can now finally make a decision based off their core values and not hatred. It's about unification. Is generally, I believe that within the next 4 to 8 years, we will see a unity party. For those who do have different opinions, but can have a decent conversation about the differences of opinion that they are having. It's an amazing thing to see two people who have been kind of on opposite sides of things to come together and, you know, make headway to do what's better for everybody, not just be self-serving to your particular issue that you have. You know, one thing I can say about Provoked Thoughts, we don't have the same opinions about things. We go back and forth about a lot of things, but at the end of the day, we can have that discussion. We're not going to talk about each other. We're not going to name call. You know, we're going to be those that bounce those ideas and sharpen iron with other ideas and have consideration. And this is what this is showing. This is what we need. The Democratic Party is not about that. We saw a convention where they said Trump's name almost 300 times and did not mention the issues that plague the American people. And I promise you, at this particular point, anybody who is a Republican, anybody who is an independent should be happy and can breathe easy knowing that their issues will be addressed. And you can take that to the bank. So I want to say what's up to y'all, man. I am glad to be here today, hanging out with you people. Like I said, make sure that you like, make sure you share, make sure you comment, and make sure that you do subscribe. You know, hit that like button. That's extremely important because what that does is lets everyone know that, hey, this is actually worth watching. So don't just come in and go past. Hit the like button. Shout out to my people on X. Shout out to my people on Rumble. Shout out to my people on YouTube. Hopefully, you know, we can get through most of our content without getting snatched off the air. So on that note, I'll bring myself up here so, you know, I can actually be seen. And then we'll bring up, well, maybe we won't. We'll bring up Brother Noobs here in just a second. because he is chomping at the bit to have a conversation as well. So just give me 1 second to get my camera life together, and we will get all of that going in just a second. You know, sometimes things happen. But anyway, and if not, I'll just go off camera. I don't care. But like I said, it's been a very, very good thing that we've had happening here in our political sphere. It's been great. We've been able to see people actually come together instead of being actually driven apart. And when we get into that, we're into something good. We are doing something incredible. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring up my boy, Brother Noobs. What is actually going on with you today? Sir, I'm having malfunctions. I don't know.
Yeah, me too. I can't get my fingers to work.
Right, I'm clicking on the wrong crap. It's like, okay, so how you feel about it? We can take it to the bank, can't we?
Well, I am one of those folks that believe that without the assistance of Dominion, probably wouldn't have any votes. But you know,
Absolutely. I mean, it's actually cool, man, to see. And it's actually cool to see a political strategy that makes sense and actually works.
yeah.
Because
Well, and oh, man, I hate to say this, but I mean, this is not, like a planned political strategy on the part of the Republicans. This is stupidity on the part of the Democrats to chase this man screaming with his hair on fire away from the Democratic Party. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they tried in blue Democrat has just left the building and joined the MAGA movement.
right, because what's right is right and
Yeah.
what's wrong is wrong.
What did they
Man,
think was going to happen? And I know we talked about this a little bit already, but what did they think was going to happen?
I don't know, man. I mean, you could literally compare and contrast what they've done to him,
Yeah.
what they've done to Trump.
Yup.
And it's like, well, damn, they're literally doing the same thing to me. You know, they're taking me
Yup.
off the ballots. They're suing me.
Yup.
They're doing everything they can to interfere
Yeah,
in the
and
democratic process.
and then they rigged the rules, and they said that, oh well, in any given state or whatever, he has to get like 1 million signatures, in each of these
Right.
states before and so he does that, and then they want to go and they don't want to do it for the election. They don't want anybody looking at the election, but they want to go back and look at every single one of Mr. Kennedy's signatures to make sure, you know
Mm-hmm.
it's just I just don't know how in this day and age anybody who's even half paying attention can vote for these people.
Well,
I just it blows my mind.
a lot of people are so severely misinformed, and they can believe what they want to believe. I mean, is like I said, it's 1984, man.
Yeah.
It's basically you feeding these people a narrative so much that they literally believe that they've seen it. People
Yep.
will say that heard stuff come out of Trump's mouth that he never said, and it's like he came out of his mouth when.
Yeah. And in fairness, it took me a while, probably a couple of years, and this was years ago. It took me a while to realize that CNN was full of shit. And then it took me a little while longer to realize that MSNBC was even worse. And then it took me a little longer to realize that the other networks were just reading off of the same script as CNN and MSNBC. And then finally, I realized that Fox News is just as full of shit as everybody else.
Right. I mean, because when you come down to it, I was watching the interview with JD Vance and that lady from MSNBC that always interrupts and then tries to fact check and then move on to the next question really, really fast.
That squinty-eyed brunette. That's who you're talking about.
Oh
I don't
my
know her name,
God.
but I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
She'll
Yep.
try to fact check, and then she'll be like, "But let's go ahead and move
Oh
on."
my God. Yep. Cannot control her tongue.
And it's like, let's go ahead and move on. And I'm like, no, we're not moving on from that question.
Yeah.
And it was so interesting because they try to pin you down to certain statements that don't mean anything.
Yep.
Like,
She got lambasted.
you know, and that's one thing that I like about JD Vance. He does not get rattled in those type of interviews.
And we talked about this before too, and what was that? He's pretty good at keeping just, that monotone kind of composure and just laying out, the
Fact after
facts.
fact after fact after fact. And
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing, man. It's crazy. And I really, really, just admire him for that, if anything. That's admirable. You
Yep.
know,
Yep. Yep.
it really, really is. But honestly, I do think, and I know that you might think a little bit differently, but this was a monumental thing. Like, for these two guys.
I think so too. This goes back to the conversations that we've had concerning Elon Musk, where he is a liberal that was left behind. And then if we go back even further, Donald Trump is actually a liberal that's been left behind.
Yep.
And now we see here it is
Tonight, I'm very
2024,
pleased to welcome a
and they just eat
man
their own.
who has been an
Absolutely.
incredible
So
champion
we're going
for
to get
so
into a
many of
little
these
bit of
values that we all share, and
the
we've shared them
greatness
for a
of what
long
happened.
time. I don't think too many of you people have heard of him. He's very low-key. He's a very low-key person, but he's highly respected. He is a great person. I've known him for so long. For the past 16 months, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
So in the interest of not getting our content blocked this evening, I will go ahead and mute this. But if you can look at the raucousness and the welcoming of this crowd.
By the way, if you did happen to get a strike for that, the Trump team did license that song for this event. So all that shit that crew is talking is bullshit. They're not the ones that control that.
Uh-huh.
So that's more fake news. Oh, we're going to sue Trump for using our song. No, sorry. You don't have the right to do that.
Oh. And he deserves it. He deserves it.
I mean, the crowd is absolutely charged up. The DNC was not like this.
For the past 16 months, Bobby has run an extraordinary campaign for President of the United States. I know, because he also went after me a couple of times. I didn't like it. And I mean this sincerely. Had he been allowed to enter the Democrat primary, he would have easily beaten Joe Biden, but they wouldn't let him in. They put up rules. I've never seen rules like he had to have 65% of the vote in order to run, little things like that. His candidacy has inspired millions and millions of Americans, raised critical issues that have been too long ignored in this country, and brought together people from across the political spectrum in a positive campaign grounded in the American values of his father, Robert Kennedy, a great man, and his uncle, President John F. Kennedy. And I know that they are looking down right now, and they are very, very proud of Bobby. I'm proud of Bobby. You want to know the truth? And I don't think I've ever introduced anyone that got applause like he just got. I must tell you, I don't think it's true. I don't think I've ever introduced anybody that got applause like that.
That crowd is nuts.
Amazing. It's true. Amazing. Soon after I can't even believe I have to say this, nearly assassinated in Pennsylvania last month, Bobby called me to express his best wishes. He
The
knows
man is
firsthand
jacked,
the
noobs.
risks
Like, look at
incurred
him.
by leaders who stand up to the corrupt political establishment. When you stand up, you bring on some trouble for yourself, but you have to do what's right. You have to do what's right for the country. I will tell you, we are both in this to do what's right for the country. That's one thing I can tell you. He lost his father and uncle in service to our country, and Bobby himself was subject to repeated threats to his safety during the course of his campaign while being denied protection by the Harris-Biden administration. And this is a tribute in honor of Bobby. I am announcing tonight that upon my election, I will establish a new independent presidential commission on assassination attempts. And they will be tasked with releasing all of the remaining documents pertaining to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, and they will also conduct a rigorous review of the attack last month. But I tell you, I have never had more people ask me, please, sir, release the documents on the Kennedy assassination. And we're going to do that. And I also want to salute Bobby's decades of work as an advocate for the health of our families and our children. Nobody's done more. Millions and millions of Americans who want clean air, clean water, and a healthy nation have concerns about toxins in our environment and pesticides in our food. That's why today I'm repeating my pledge to establish a panel of top experts working with Bobby to investigate what is causing the decades-long increase in chronic health problems and childhood diseases, including autoimmune disorders, autism, obesity, infertility, and many more. We want every child in America to grow.
And Democrats say, we want to kill your babies. You ain't got to worry about all of that if you kill them, huh? Sheesh. It's craziness. Absolute insanity. But let's keep going.
Grow up and to live a long and healthy life. So I just want to ask Bobby to speak for a little while. I'll stand aside. I'm going to stand aside. But I can only tell you, I've known him a long time. We've been a little bit on the opposite side of the equation, but I will say this, he is a brilliant, I still think of him as young. He's not that young. I always call him young, but he's not that young. But he is a phenomenal person, a phenomenal man who loves the people of this country as much as anybody can love the people of this country. So, Bobby, please say a few words. Thank you very much.
Now, I know you got clips from last night,
Thank
right?
you.
No, I don't. You can pull it.
Oh, yeah, let me find a piece of that.
It's like a WWE event right here, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
A few hours after the assassination attempt at Butler, I got a call from a safe food advocate named Kelly Means, who's been fighting for many years to try to end the corruption at CDC and FDA and USDA. And these institutions, these regulatory agencies are actually run by the big food processing companies, the big ag and the chemical companies that they're supposed to regulate. And he said to me that he'd been advising me for many years and on my campaign. And he told me that night that he was also advising President Trump. And he asked if I would talk to President Trump. And I said, of course. And about a few minutes later, I got a call from the president. And we talked. We had a very good talk. And then he invited me to come see him the next day. And I went to Minneapolis and saw him. We met again a couple of weeks later in Florida. And we talked about, not about the things that separate us because we don't agree on everything, but on the values and the issues that bind us together. And one of the issues that he talked about was having safe food and ending the chronic disease epidemic.
Yes.
We need to get the government out of our food.
Yes. Say that
Our
again.
children are now the unhealthiest, sickest children in the world. Don't you want healthy children? And don't you want the chemicals out of our food? And don't you want the regulatory agencies to be free from corporate corruption? And that's what President Trump told me that he wanted. He also told me that he wanted to end the grip of the neocons on U.S. foreign policy.
Been saying that.
He said he didn't want any more $200 billion wars in Ukraine, that we could use that money back here in the United States.
Makes sense to me.
Exactly. Yes.
And the best way to build a safe America is to rebuild our industrial base and rebuild the middle class in this country. And don't you want a president who's going to get us out of the wars and who's going to rebuild the middle class in this country?
Amen.
And he told me that he wanted to end the censorship because the whole basis of American democracy is the free flow of information. And we know that a government that can silence its opponents has license for any kind of atrocity.
I'm telling you.
And can you think of any time that you can look back in history and say that the people who were censoring were the good guys?
Yeah.
They're always the bad guys, because it's always the first step down that slippery slope to totalitarianism. And don't you want a president who's going to protect America's freedoms?
This is crazy. I've watched it a few times. It's still crazy. I'm like, this is insane. He's literally advocating for a Democrat, lifelong, family lineage.
Yeah. This is great, man.
And I want to ask you again, don't you want a safe environment for your children? Don't you want to know that the food that you're feeding them is not filled with chemicals that are going to give them cancer and chronic disease? And don't you want a president that's going to make America healthy again? Thank you all very, very much, and God bless you, and God bless America.
They gave the man a hug and everything, man. What the heck is going on, man?
Yeah. Woo.
Man, what a W. What a W. What a... I was telling Noobs earlier, I'm like, that's the, you know, that 3-pointer when you was down some points and you finally come back and take the lead, and it's like 2 minutes left on the clock, and you going on a run. This is the run. This is the momentum shift.
Yeah, man. The Democrats, man, they done for sure.
Now, of course, they shall try to smear Robert F. Kennedy. Of course, we're going to see in the news strand about some female that he probably they're going to allege that he sexually assaulted in a corner somewhere.
60 years ago.
We're going to see.
Can't remember her own name.
Yeah, we're going to see it.
Yeah,
we're going to see it because there's no new game plan. It's nothing new. But I don't think that is going to work anymore.
No, because everybody's waking up and they're seeing the BS that's really happening now. Only God will prevail.
That is done. They're done for. They are absolute toast when it comes to that, man.
And they're going to try to come up with stuff, man. It's not going to work this time. It is not going to prosper.
They're going to try to smear. And it's going to be a fact. They're looking for stuff right now. They've been on it all weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, because at the Depopulation Negro Convention, that's what I call them, they're going to try to they've been saying his name more than I don't know how many times, and they ain't not lay a single policy down.
I mean, not at all. I mean, even though she was talking about what her policies might be, she didn't ever tell you what she was going to do.
And then they have the audacity to bring the Central Park 5. I'm like, what the hell? See, now you're doing too much. Because first of all, Trump didn't just write that ad for them. That was for everyone. Whoever got arrested or convicted of some stuff. Because I'm gonna say this, man. I feel like they did do some stuff.
That was a low dig just to try to get at the emotions of what black people say when they talk. This is for those low-level thinkers. But the Central Park 5, he wasn't president. He wrote an op-ed, man.
And then they talking about our lives has been terrible. Like they were threatening us. It's all because of Donald Trump in 1989. Are you serious?
Yeah. They probably ain't got no money. They probably could have used the check.
Yeah, and I'm like, man, they're guilty of some stuff though at the same time. Because here's the thing. Because I was watching this video on YouTube called on Conflict Culture. And I'm like, man, they have lied to us.
They was out there doing what they was doing, what kids was notorious for going out to Central Park and doing, which was called wilding. Okay.
Yeah.
Which means they was terrorizing the people that was running around there. They was acting the doggone fool, making everybody uncomfortable.
And you got Ava DuVernay talking about we trying to humanize them. No. Tell the truth.
You just got to be honest. You was in a situation where you got caught up because you was somewhere you wasn't supposed to be doing something that you wasn't doing. You play stupid games and you win stupid prizes.
And you know what? That's the thing, man. These black celebrities ain't getting it. But we all know why, because they are under the Democratic plantation.
Well, all of these media outlets have been compromised. So if you catch one of these fools on a radio station like Ricky Smiley, like D.L. Hughley, like Steve Harvey, like Charlemagne the Garbage, you're gonna get this skewed narrative.
I was watching the video where Steve Harvey was saying something about Trump said about Obamacare. I watched the actual video with Trump and Steve Harvey at the Trump Towers. That man Steve Harvey lied like a snake.
Yep, especially about what Donald Trump said when he walked out of the walked up to the mic.
I'm like, man, what a bunch of lies, man. You better stop. And Steve Harvey knows the truth to it. He is a black bully elite.
Man, piece of trash, man. Piece of trash. You know, and it's
Yep.
crazy because, you know, we at a precipice right now, man. And, you know, if you don't think like them, then you will be ostracized.
Yep. And now you got Roland Martin with his fat self trying to justify what he's saying about black people being oppressed and all that. I'm like, man, you know what? Michelle Obama talking about, oh, we shouldn't be, the rich people, but you live in Martha Vineyard. So how you gonna tell us that we are oppressed and stuff, but you got $1,000 heels, $2,000 suit, dress, or whatever she was wearing, and you're telling us you're oppressed? Please, goodbye.
And Northern Canadian collard greens washed in a bathtub.
Man, I remember watching the Sinks, and oh Lord, watching Sinks. Lord have mercy. Watching greens in a bowl or in a sink.
Who's oppressing me? Ain't nobody oppressing me.
I'm still trying to figure out how you get collard greens to grow in like zone 3. That's the big mystery to me. And, you know, I can buy the bathtub and all of that kind of neat stuff, but you know, because you got to use what you got to use. But you know, who has a field of collard greens in zone 3?
That don't even make sense,
right?
Goodness.
Man, I'm gonna ask my mama, did we ever wash greens in the bathtub?
Yeah, and just for my own edification, ask your mom where these grow, because I think they grow in warmer southern climates, and not so well in, you know, in permafrost. But I could be wrong, because I mean, it's like if it's anything like lettuce, you know, you plant it like late, right, so that it comes up in, you know, so.
Right. So let's take a quick look here.
Yeah, let's look at some other
stuff real quick. We have anytime that, and shout out to Frankie Diamonds TV, by the way, but we have a culture, of course, where we see and we talk about it. If you speak your mind, certain things will happen. And make sure you go subscribe.
Yo, man, so I'm gonna play this clip. Jermaine Dupri, right, producer, rapper, mogul, Atlanta producer. Jermaine Dupri is a part of the Black Boule. He is a part of the Black, you know, Democratic Plantation. And he did help Stacey Abrams and them turn Georgia blue in 2020. Him along with Jeezy and a few other rappers, they rounded up. But Jermaine Dupri did this video on Twitter and it went viral. And he pretty much was talking about just common sense and how every time he looks at these Republicans' view talking points, and when people ask, hey, what is Kamala doing in office currently? Why can't she do anything currently? She's opposing all of these policies. She's going to rebuild the middle class and all of this stuff. She's in office now. And when you ask that question, people don't want to hear that. Democrats get upset when you, God forbid you question anything from that party as a black man, let alone they don't want anybody questioning them, especially a black man. And for him just answering that question, they got hell raised over because God forbid somebody asks the truth about what's going on. Now, they want you to believe that the vice president has nothing to do with the current administration. You just the president's sidekick. You just stand there mannequin style. She has nothing to do with anything. And how dare you ask this question? But yeah, this is Jermaine Dupri's video where I was talking about.
That I kind of asked Kamala when we had our second meeting, you know, if, you know, the fact that she's in office right now. She's in the White House right now. And the guy, he said, what makes y'all believe that she's going to get this stuff done if she becomes president and she's already in the House?
Just say
and it's a tricky question, because I asked Kamala basically the same thing, right? In so many words. And I asked her, like, as the vice president, why they don't let her talk when, you know, Biden seems like he needs, or he needed, someone to speak up for him. I thought that's what the role of the vice president was to help the president.
Exactly.
And basically, she kind of let me know that her hands was tied, that they didn't really allow her to be a voice like that in that space. And tonight, I don't know if she's gonna, you know, I want to see how if she even touches on this, because if she doesn't touch on it, that's the question that I feel like the people that have mixed decisions about voting for her, this is one of the questions. This is the top question that they had. And like I said, this is what the Republicans are saying. You know, and they never heard the part about her hands being tied. And if she says something about her hands being tied, then it makes it look like the White House or the Democratic Party didn't really want her to exceed. So she can't really say her hands was tied, but she does have to step into that space. This is something I do believe.
So nothing wrong with that, right? This is a basic question, and most people who aren't politically savvy, they would ask that question also. Why hasn't she done anything while she's currently in office? They basically demolished Jermaine Dupri, the Democrats, in the comments, in the sections. 3.9 million people watched that video. Yo, you turning your back? How you gonna question that? What's wrong with you? Roland Martin had to come and check Jermaine Dupri. Right? Roland Martin, roly-poly had to come in and say, let me come on, sit you down, brother, so we can sit down and talk about this here. You can't be, because you know what Jermaine Dupri did? He stepped across the gun line. This is a real plantation. You remember in life? Tell him about the gun line, boss. Tell him about the gun line, boss. He stepped across that gun line just because he simply asked a regular question, and they was like, no, we can't have that. You cannot question anything. Even if it don't make sense, we want you to act as if it is, because we can't afford to be thinking outside of the box. We got to keep people right here. We got to keep the emotion going. We got to keep the focus on Trump and all of this other stuff, and don't get black folks thinking anything about themselves, because this is a transactional occurrence. You know, you vote to get something in return, but they don't want you to think like that. You know what they do? They feed you propaganda, and they feed you images like this with this little black girl in the pigtails looking up at Kamala, Auntie Kamala. This is supposed to be so powerful according to people like Plies.
That'd be
right?
scary.
Who's like, I want y'all to stop coming up with reasons. These country Bama, snaggle-tooth, GED having rappers sitting here telling us who we should vote for.
GED having rappers.
Enough. You got Luke going at it with Tariq Nasheed, right? Luke is telling Tariq, you dividing the black community. I'm like, what?
No, he's,
you know what I mean?
Man.
Luke wasn't even a Democrat a few years ago. It has gotten out of hand how many people they are paying off. When you got streamers like that cowboy who admitted that they came after him and gave him a bag, you don't think they giving these cats money to promote this? It's getting out of hand. And Jermaine, he's on payroll, but he messed up and asked a simple question. He actually spoke from the heart. He read off script, and they wasn't feeling that. So Roly-Poly Martin had him on his show, and he had to summon him and I guess put him in his place. You know, the guidelines of what it is to be a bootlegger on this plantation. Because, I mean, that was straight up gun line right there. He was this close to jumping across that gun line, boss. He was about to get it. They was about to put one in his ass. But yeah, these people are serious, man. And that's anything that you can't question is always some bullshit 9 times out of 10. Don't tell me I can't ask a damn question. Jermaine Dupri ain't said nothing wrong, man. But this is what they do.
Now, somebody who's in prison also crossed the line too.
Talking about Suge?
No, I'm talking about R. Kelly.
Oh, R. Kelly, yeah. Okay.
He probably crossed the line because he wasn't getting down with their BS. I think.
Yeah, I mean, and at the end of the day, man, when you get to looking at all of this foolishness, man, with us as black people, man, one thing that I can say about this Trump situation is different
Yeah,
from when we was going on YouTube and dealing with the R. Kelly situation.
yeah,
The level of
and
divisiveness and everything amongst the supporters was the main thing that caused the message that we were trying to get out not to get out.
yeah,
Now,
and
one thing that I can say about with Trump and all of those, and just dealing with this, I would say that it's very much a unified situation. A lot of that got to do with diversity, because the problem is this is a crab in the barrel mentality.
mm-hmm.
What people don't understand is within this black community, they want to pull you down to continue to be suppressed and depressed. And that's all you see with Ricky Smiley, with D.L. Hughley, with all of these people that say, oh, I always voted Democrat. Yeah, you've always been a crab in the bucket. And now when somebody's
Mm-hmm.
trying to get out of the bucket with you, you're trying to pull them back in the freaking bucket.
Mm-hmm. It's like they did with Ice Cube. He
And
said that with
the
Tucker
thing of it
Carlson.
is that, all that Trump really needs is 30%.
Mm-hmm.
30% of black people to get their asses out the bucket and don't let the other crabs get you. Get away from the bucket and go vote. Since they don't know what their best interest is, let's go ahead and vote for their best interest.
Mm-hmm. Don't vote for party.
It only takes a few. I'm sure we got a lot of black people, African Americans, that are the adults in the room and realize what business is, realize what food cost is, realize what gas cost is, realize what immigration is, realizes what that stuff can actually do to you, what it's actually doing to us right now. Realizing that anytime that they know that things are about to change in an improper direction, they try to throw somebody. Bill Clinton was, the blackest president because he came out and played a freaking saxophone.
Shit.
And then when you wanted to win again, and we were all up on the unrest, then you put Barack Obama in our face, and we made no bones about it. We voted for him specifically because he was black. I cannot remember any policies he talked about while he was campaigning or anything. They put a shiny object in our face and we went for it.
Mm-hmm. And then you had Beyonce and Jay-Z at Hillary's
We went
man,
for
come
it.
on now.
Now, we're at a precipice where we really starting to see, and now you're trying to dangle another shiny object in our face.
Huh.
To say, but they work for you. They're your trustees. I don't trust them. You want to tell me that Donald Trump is all about himself, but I don't see him with $60,000 necklaces around his neck.
Just a man with a suit and tie. That's it.
He never said that he wasn't going to do anything specifically for black people.
Like
Kamala did.
did. Yeah, because she was like, "Oh, you think it's gonna be benefit black people?" No.
You want to call a man a racist that has black people around him all the time. When did you see anybody but Kamala Harris around him anytime?
There is one thing that Trump said that he would do specifically for black people, and he has said it over and over and over again. And that is that he will meet with anybody at any time. You know what I mean? And so, you wanna go meet with Trump or whatever, you go through the wickets or whatever, and he will meet with you, It's not like, the Democrats, who was it? Was it Ice Cube? Oh yeah.
You know what? I was
Yeah,
about to
come
say
talk to
that.
us after. after the election, and then
With
after the election, did that meeting ever come?
He's still waiting.
nope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
with the platinum plan.
yeah, and so and
With
Trump wasn't even the president yet, and he sat down with him and talked about it.
Well, no, this was 2020.
Right,
So
way
it
back.
wasn't. No, it wasn't even election time. But he sat down. Well, he hadn't. It was still election time, but it was around the COVID George Floyd thing that all of that came about.
Oh
and,
yeah.
and Trump was willing to have give him a seat at the table.
Yeah, let's have a meeting.
Yeah, and it was about giving $500 billion to the black
Yep.
community.
And then go back to what you were saying about folks that are stuck on the plantation or whatever, giving Ice Cube shit for meeting with
Yeah.
somebody in a political office that might be able to help him with the things that he wants
Mm-hmm.
to talk about.
Yeah.
Insanity.
Right.
Insane.
Insanity.
Mm-hmm.
What is wrong with these people? So the man gets to sit down with what, at the time, depending on the timeline, either is the president of the United States or could be the president of the United States. That man took time out of his schedule to talk to him, and you want to talk shit on him for a meeting to express his ideas? What?
Man, these some wicked people, man. And they also shed it on Ice Cube when he sat down with Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense because you want to get your word out. You want to get your side out. And so whether it's with Trump or with Tucker Carlson, it doesn't matter because both of them have millions of viewers and followers. So they're going to hear what you have to say in these meetings, and to chastise them for taking these meetings and getting their words out. And it's just insanity. And that's how I know this is like, this neo upside down liberal kind of fascist thing, because they don't want anybody not on their side to talk. That's the definition of fascism.
Mm-hmm. And we got to give that thanks to Obama. He was the one that was telling these celebrities that Trump was racist.
Mm-hmm. They started all of that. As soon as he put in his bid for politics is when all that started.
And you know what? It festered from him saying that Obama wasn't from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? That's the reason why a lot of people are mad at Trump. But there's some people that still like Obama, no matter what. He didn't do nothing for the black community. They still like him.
Yeah, he didn't do anything for anybody. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
He made sure his family was good.
Yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and it's sad, man, because it's like, man, I remember Trump was loved. He was going to WWE events. He was doing his Apprentice show. You're fired. All of the View, all loved him.
Yeah, and they were the first ones to turn on him too. They all were right in line, like they were reading off the same script.
Yep, and they're being paid to do it.
Either paid or threatened, one of the two.
It has to be one of them, because there's no way they don't really hate him at all.
Right. Well, we've all seen the videos before of Whoopi Goldberg, fawning over Donald Trump, and
Joy Behar.
Yeah, exactly.
Joy
Behar
touching his hair.
Actually, yeah, like jokingly kind of hitting on him on screen and that sort of thing, and now he's just the damn devil because, he's not in line with the Democrat, thought crime process.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and plus, I love the fact that Trump brought up about autism, obesity, all this stuff. Because I have autism, and I'm kind of glad he brought that out there.
And I think, and this goes back to the chemicals in the food and all that kind of stuff. Because it's funny how this, it's becoming a larger percent of the population. I mean, because the population is growing, I would expect the number of people with autism and that sort of thing to continue to grow along with it. But, these days, man, it seems like it's becoming more and more common, among a smaller, sampling of people.
Yeah.
And you got to wonder if it has something to do with the food.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's got to be something.
And I'm like, man, we gotta keep these two protected because man, they trying to do the right thing and people are not seeing it. They want to say he's a neo-Nazi because CNN is already getting sued by the Republicans for billions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, y'all better stop. And then I believe MSNBC gonna be getting sued next too. Whew.
Yeah, I think both of those networks are juggling like half a dozen lawsuits at any given time.
All right. So, in the interest of still roasting these fuckers, let's go back to a little over 3 days ago. And most
Hey, but
embarrassing moments. What were you about to say, man?
I say, but hey, we all weirdos, right?
Yep,
Right.
I know I am.
I'm a weirdo and proud to be one.
That was never a question, yeah.
And so let's go ahead and check out Officer Tatum in the most embarrassing moments at the DNC.
Oh yeah, man. I love
a guy yelling, "Screw the billionaires," followed immediately by a very happy billionaire. It's all okay if it's our billionaire. Making fun of people for going to Yale, and a bunch of people who went to Yale. The Democrats had people who prosecuted sexual predators and...
I'm glad Josh Jones coming back to his senses.
There goes that booking.
This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com. TatumStore.com. Make sure you get the merch link in the description section. It's going to pop up here. Y'all already know what to do. My favorite shirt right now, the hottest shirt right now that's getting momentum again is the I'm Voting for the Felon shirt. And also, shout out to everybody that helped with the Save the Storage campaign. We literally are almost 100% to our goal. And I want to thank you guys. We are going to have a medical mobile clinic right here in Phoenix, Arizona, where young women who have unplanned pregnancies can get on the bus, get an ultrasound, and get resources so they can choose life. We're going to take care of it right here. And thank y'all who supported. And I'm going to try to throw a party when we get the bus here so we can celebrate. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you get notification anytime I go live, make a video. Let's get into this. I don't know how I feel about Cuomo coming around now.
Big theme here at the DNC is that they're going to go after corporate gouging. And they're going to go after corporations, whether it's in taxes, largesse, loopholes. Let me reveal a reality to you that has to be spoken to here, okay? These are the soldiers. These are the men and the women that go back to their constituencies and their communities, and they fight. They take time from their jobs. They take time from their families. Republicans and Democrats alike, that's what they do. They need to charge these people up. They need to be able to get them on board. But there's another reality that is literally looking down on them. Greg, look at the ring of sweets, okay? This is not unique to Democrats. There is a game of money. When people talk about...
That's crazy, ain't it? $5 million seats.
That's crazy. Top. What a greedy bastards.
And then they talk about how much money somebody done raised over the time that they done been in office and nominated. Well, you're charging $5 million a seat.
Man, that's how Trump rally wouldn't even cost that much, I bet.
All them rich people up there, they talking about they gonna tax and they not gonna tax them at all.
And any of us could retire just from the proceeds from one of those box seats.
Yes. Insanity. Yeah, the most disingenuous crap I've ever seen.
strangled by the money reality in our politics. Those suites start at 500 grand. You think there's like a teacher group up in there?
Bro, you got a lot of damage that you've done. And now you want to tell us the truth about the DNC?
Actually, inside the building. I have a question. How does it feel to support a convicted felon? Hey, no, look at this, guys. See how they attack here? Look at they're attacking me on the war room.
A proven sexual abuser. A proven sexual abuser. Convicted felon.
Harry Sisson, have you gotten your vasectomy yet? I think that's what the audience wants to know.
You got your vasectomy yet? Did you get your vasectomy? Were you aborted? Did your mom get your I prayed for you that your mom did not abort you.
I hope that you don't support
This didn't go over well with black folks.
Man, he
One of
roasted
the
him.
things that really bothers me is I see on the Harris side a lot of like lies. Like some of the stuff I didn't know, like this 2025 thing, I didn't know what it was. And they kept saying that it's Donald Trump is doing this. And when I looked it up,
Yeah,
it
that was
has
gonna
nothing.
backfire on him.
It's like it's not Donald Trump's thing.
What about tonight made you decide you were going to vote for Trump?
Her speech was great. I like how she went into personal history again. It was just not moving for me.
And how October 7th was horrible. Yeah, it was horrible. But it felt like she kind of downplayed what's been going on in the last 10 months.
Democrats been running the country 12 out of the last 16 years. If people are still complaining about things not going well, majority of it is y'all's fault. I'm so glad Vivek checked Van Jones. I've been waiting to do this my whole life. I mean, this guy, if he's not going to be the president of the United States one day, I don't know who will. And the biggest fool in the game.
Yeah, he
Van
got
Jones.
So you were on air and you said that he's like, he's a demagogue, he's dangerous, he's going to be around for 50 years long after Donald Trump's gone. First time in the campaign, we get a death threat of a man who wants to show up in New Hampshire. Thankfully, the police intervened, got it. The next day, back-to-back days, my wife's scared enough. The next day, we wake up. It's 3 a.m. We get a call from him. He's my security guard saying, thank God you picked up because we just got a call that somebody showed up at your house and has 4 dead bodies. For our family, you know what? Publicly I didn't do it, but for our family, yeah, it pissed us the heck off, actually.
Vivek did that smooth, man. He turned it into
he handled it.
But he checked him on
What
it, man.
bodies
He walked
is
up
he
on him and
talking
said,
about?
look, man, this is the stuff that you said, and it caused death.
I think somebody in the neighborhood got killed.
That's crazy. I didn't hear about that. Where the hell was that?
Or somebody in the area or whatever. But still, I mean, he was right. Shit. The hell?
And they were trying to assassinate Trump again, but glad they caught the dude.
Oh, you're talking about in Arizona?
Yes, when
Yeah.
he was visiting the border. I don't see Kamala visiting the border.
Yeah, I remember hearing him. He was talking to that that one journalist or whatever, and he's like, "Yeah, they tell me we're not supposed to be standing right here. It's not safe for me. It's not safe for you. So we're gonna stop talking now and move to someplace else." You know.
See you when I see you. Peace.
Yep.
For real. Like, shit, I ain't trying to get shot again. Shit.
Yeah, really. So yeah, we're gonna wrap this up if you don't mind very much.
Hey, let's maybe like a little banana split. Get up out of here.
Yeah, it's about time that Van Jones got checked.
He needs to with his crying
Dude,
ass.
man, that dude, he's just as phony to me as Don Lemon, you know. And I saw a headline the other day. It said something like, Don Lemon is shocked that people in New Jersey would vote for Trump. Man, Don Lemon would be shocked if he found his own ass with both hands. Seriously, dude's a tool bag. Same with Van Jones.
Oh yeah, he's bought and paid for coon, if you will.
Just a scripted shill, you know.
Luckily I can say that. He's fucking coon. I'm telling you. This dude is an Oreo cookie.
I don't know what he is, except a fool. And that's what really kills me, man. I mean, he looks like a fool to anybody who's paying attention. And the people who aren't, that just listen to him and swallow what he's spitting out. I mean, which half of your brain was removed, at the time that you were born? I just have to know.
Right. Hell of a thing.
Yeah.
Hell of a thing to know. He's an idiot. Because I'd have hit it in his mouth.
Yeah.
I'd have just walked up. You almost got me and my wife killed. Wow. I got kids. Stomp, 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 stomp. Derek goes to Provoke Thoughts, goes to jail at the DNC.
Because all that stuff they were talking to DNC about, Trump, they have nothing else to talk about but him.
Nope, nothing else.
And it's like you trying to say these things, putting this man in danger, almost trying to get him killed again in Arizona. These people are trying to do whatever they can to eliminate. They need to stop because God is watching and He's seeing everything they're doing.
Yeah, the poor things can't win. But let's keep it going.
To my family, I need you to do better. Listen, they have no answer for Vivek. They have no answer.
So as it relates to the race right now, which you bring up in the Democratic convention, I think one of the things that's missing in this race right now is a rigorous debate on policy. And I do think Americans are going to be best served if this is an election built around competing policy visions for the future of the country. And I do think right now that's missing, if we're being very honest, from the Kamala Harris campaign. Like it or not, Trump has offered deep policy specifics. You may or may not agree with the policies, but he has offered policy specifics at a level that we have not heard from Kamala Harris. But I think the media has been covering for her absence of policy specifics in the same way they were covering for Biden's cognitive deficits for the course of 3 years.
Y'all stop believing these liars. These people are thugs. They lying, and the media is backing them. I swear these people are so disingenuous. They had 3.5 years to do something about the border. They wait to election year to try to throw a spitball at the thing and say, oh, Republicans tried to ban it. Why don't y'all do something on day one? I mean, year 1, year 2, year 3.
Vote for merit and free speech. And you know what? The values this country was founded on. The reality is, vote for whoever you think is going to better do that. So you figure out who that is, and who's going to revive national pride and keep us out of World War III. Figure out who you think is going to be the best person to do that. And whoever that is, that's going to be the right vote for the country.
Telling your people that we do not have the right to vote. You are a fraud. I'm the founder of and telling the folks that we can't vote.
Screaming and yelling for nothing and getting absolutely ignored.
The only thing that was
and I am deeply disappointed in you. And for you to say that we should have a poll test, just like a literacy test.
That's one of those kids that thinks that if he holds his breath long enough, he'll get his way.
You said I don't have the right to vote. Young people are powerful.
Absolutely.
And we're going to show you November 5th.
Absolutely, you have the right to vote.
Show you.
And I encourage everybody to vote.
Range. Look at this crazy bastard.
Man.
Yep.
It looked like another damn crooks running around.
Yep. I was thinking the same thing. It's another crooks.
Probably being paid too. Everybody getting paid.
What is wrong with this guy? Look at him. He's going crazy.
The only thing that I ask for is they came on the stage and stomped their feet rather than having a conversation. Okay, and the thing I would love is to have an open debate. So you want to come out and do it? You want to come out and have a discussion?
Bro, he hit the nail on the head with this one. What this gentleman is going to say, it sums up the entire campaign of Kamala Harris. And every American who really care or have any common sense, unless you just vote in party line, this should be a contributing factor to how you vote and who you decide to vote for.
In all these speeches, as good as they were, is that she's in the White House right now. Democrats have controlled the White House for 12 of the last 16 years. And for all of the talk about division and the problems in the country and people are hurting, Democrats have mostly controlled this country. Trump had it for 4. The Obamas and Biden had it for the rest of the time. And somehow, it's still all Trump's fault. And somehow, she hasn't been.
That is the best line of it all. That's the best line of them all. I mean, if you have any type of argument, that's the argument right there. You're right there.
James is right.
You're on the job. But what you doing, Kamala? Drinking on the fucking job. That's what the hell you doing. You ain't doing shit. And that's a fact. So let's keep it moving.
At the center of it.
Kamala Harris gonna do you right this time, I promise.
But I think that
I ain't gonna cheat on you no more, I promise. It was just that time. It was a circumstance. Yeah, right. Okay. Been cheating the whole time. Fucker.
you have to trust the pilot of the plane in the first place. And the problem right now is that Donald Trump is not a trustworthy pilot. And what these guys are winning, they're winning the babysitter contest. Who do you want? Whose values do you want to be in charge of the plane before we get where we're going? And I think you're getting smoked on that. And I think that's how do you see it?
My brother.
Yes.
My brother. I have to tell you,
please.
The current pilot of the plane is Kamala Harris. Donald Trump is not the pilot of the plane.
No,
he's right here.
She's the vice president. She's a co-pilot. She's a co-pilot.
Bill Clinton.
He made him look so stupid. Like, what are you even talking about? Still co-pilot. It looks like the pilot can't fly no more. So, who's going to land this damn plane? Interesting, huh? Yeah. All right.
Makes me think about my dad in Western Kentucky. When I was growing up out there, my dad and all the other guys like my dad, blue-collar guys, they love Bill Clinton. All Clinton guys. And now, my dad and every single one of them that I know, all Donald Trump guys. And when I see him come out here tonight and I think about the audience in this convention, I think the Democratic Party did once have a bunch of people who Bill Clinton would appeal to. I think they're gone. I think the people who, the blue-collar labor piece of the Democratic Party that propelled Bill Clinton in the 90s has completely and totally migrated over to Donald Trump. And so I wonder about the younger audience and how they view somebody like Bill Clinton today, because he's not a blue-collar hero to them. They know a lot of other things about him that, frankly, make me wonder how in the world he still makes these kinds of stages, to be honest.
The DNC is already off the rails. Did y'all see Joe Biden?
This decision overturning Roe v. Wade that you heard earlier tonight, the United States Supreme Court majority wrote the following, quote, "Women are not not allowed."
Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Is it not electrical what?
Not without electoral or political power.
Goodness.
I'm tired of hearing about how a two-bit union buster thinks of himself as more of a patriot than the woman who fights every single day to lift working people out from under the boots of greed, trampling on our way of life.
Oh, man,
and now they're making him come and give.
On our way of life. When did she turn black? She turned black real fast.
Yeah, Trump is more of a patriot than Kamala.
Wow, gee, that's crazy.
His own career.
He has files of every eulogy.
Yeah, and now they're making him give his own eulogy at this convention.
We shall never forget, Joe Biden was trash from the day he got in there. We knew he was dead the whole time. Everybody knew. All the Republicans knew. All the Republicans were saying it.
Now, Kamala, on the other hand, has been fighting border crime for years.
Lies.
She's gone down to Mexico and worked to stop the traffickers. And when the traffickers didn't stop, she put them in jail.
Tell us about what you are asking for. What are your needs?
So why are you not putting Bill Clinton in jail?
Well, right now, thank you for having me, first off. Right now, what I'm asking for is for the president or a member of his administration that can make decisions to come down and talk to not just me, but at least 12 other Texas sheriffs from major counties in the state of Texas that are dealing with this issue firsthand. So I'd like to see somebody from Washington come down here, get boots on the ground, get eyes on the issue at hand, and then talk to us, a bipartisan group of Texas sheriffs that are really taking a common sense approach because we have to.
Would you call the border secure?
The border is secure.
You're confident this border is secure?
We have
Good boy.
a secure border.
After decades in law enforcement, I know the importance of safety and security, especially at our border. As president, I will bring back the bipartisan border security bill that he killed, and I will sign it into law.
Vice President Harris's running mate, Tim Walz, is set tomorrow night. The campaign is having to clean up some.
She don't even sound convincing when she says she's going to sign it into law. I'm like, oh, huh? You don't even sound convincing, sweetie. I don't know what to tell you, but you don't sound. I don't believe you.
Comments he's made about one of the campaign signature issues having to do with reproductive rights. This is what Governor Walz said on MSNBC while criticizing J.D. Vance. Take a listen.
J.D. Vance knows nothing about that. And then he keeps going into all of these things. Today's IVF day. Thank God for IVF. My wife and I have 2 beautiful children.
Now, that's not accurate, right? I mean, it wasn't IVF. It was a different procedure, and his wife, Gwen Walz, the First Lady of Minnesota, is taking care to tell CNN that they actually used a procedure called intrauterine insemination. IUI. It's a process she described as an incredibly personal and difficult experience. They did use fertility treatments. It was.
They fact checking the hell out of him, huh? It's crazy. And dude, don't be telling the truth. Exaggerations and fabrications, lies. Yeah, he was supposed to be the best football coach in Minnesota, right? Assistant coach. Oh God.
It's weird that he was shaking his wife's hand. Let's not forget that.
I don't. You look. Some people have a handshake marriage. It's all business. Say, I gave you these little goofy kids you wanted. There you go. Now you got to take care of them and me. And if you ever leave me, I'm going to expose what you're really like, Mr. Tampon Tim. I don't know. Just speculating. It's not fact-based. It's only my opinion.
An IVF.
I think I'm entitled to that still. Don't we still have don't we still have freedom of speech?
Only until after this election if it goes wrong.
Okay, cool. All right, let's go.
Any woman who's gone
Sergeant Major.
I'm sorry.
Hold on. I want to.
Any one of the 1 in 7 women who goes through fertility treatments, IUI is part of the suite of fertility treatments. It's a step below IVF. It's direct insemination versus creating embryos. I think that is a stretch to say that it's not part of the broader fertility treatment.
The way they explain it is he just talks like how regular people talk.
I mean, my husband wouldn't know the difference.
First of all, my wife did IUI not once but twice, and then we did IVF not once but twice, trying to have a child. And so, as a father of IVF babies or whatever, yes, I would call. I mean,
you're not winning if you're making.
Yeah, you would what? You would say it's the same.
This whole conversation is that whole conversation is just like what
garbage.
What do they got to do? What they got to do with my price food? Sheesh. You're gonna have a baby through IVF. Guess what? You're gonna have to feed them, regardless of how you have them. You're gonna have to buy that expensive ass Enfamil and formula.
Your McDonald's chicken nuggets are gonna be $30.
Are you kidding me? So what does this have to do? Oh man. Oh.
As a man, I would probably mess that up.
Look, guys, this is a head scratcher.
Yeah, but why clean it up? We'll have this discussion for politicians to be accurate. Thanks to everyone.
I love Tim Walz. So Tim, my daughters were saying to me, you know, he's like a male version of you, Mom. And I thought that was so
Minus
funny.
the red lip. I can see it.
But he's rocking a purple tie in honor of the Vikings and Prince. So like he's always on message.
But they are doing so in trying to put forward male figures, Tim Walz being one of them, Doug Emhoff last night, who can speak to men out there who might not be the sort of testosterone-laden, gun-toting kind of guy who wants to listen to Hulk Hogan.
Oh
my God.
Oh, pussies? Pussies? Is that what we're talking about? You want that kind of guy?
Hulk Hogan did a great job with his speech. Please.
I mean, so like we've been saying over the past 5 years, this is an out and out attack on masculinity and men.
You know what's funny about that though? Is that, there's plenty of interviews out there where they're talking to chicks. There's even one out there. They were talking to this woman at the DNC, and they were asking her about, guys. And the thing is that she doesn't want a wuss progressive guy. and she won't go out and get the man that she wants because the kind that she likes are conservatives, and conservatives are evil. You know what I'm saying? So she can't find a guy that she likes in her progressive group circles and that sort of thing because they're all a bunch of pussies. And the guys that she does like, she won't go and talk to them because they're conservative men, with actual testosterone and no tampons. And, obviously they're evil because they're conservative.
Wow. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Crazy.
And the kind of players that came out at the RNC, or might want to listen to that, but also maybe in addition,
jealous.
understand that it's okay in 2024 to be a man comfortable in his own skin who supports a woman. And that's something that they
a simp?
You can support a woman and not be a simp.
But I see a lot of simping going on.
Well, that's what she's wanting, And again, it's one of those self-licking ice cream cones. She's trying to play that, oh, I want a man to be a man, but if he doesn't do what I say, then you know what I mean? If he's not fully behind me 1,000%, no matter what the harebrained idea is,
And this is
I've got going
exactly
through
what
my
would
skull.
happen.
Yeah.
This is exactly what would happen to you as a beta male, which is what they're trying to portray. You come home just like in one of those flicks, and she got some big black dude with a 12-incher, and you got to sit there and watch.
Yeah, or two or more. Yeah.
And you got to sit there and watch.
Well, and then the other thing that comes to mind, specifically in politics, is I don't want one of these simps as one of my leaders. I don't give a shit what his wife has got to think about or talk about or whatever. I didn't hire her, and so I don't want him simping for her. The dudes that we elect or women that we elect, we elected them because we like their thought process and the things that they said that they were going to do. If this is some wishy-washy schmuck, I don't care if it's a man or a woman or whatever, but a simp, that's not somebody that I want in office in any capacity.
Not at all. And you see another one down here, Mr. Pete Buttigieg.
Oh, yeah. Oh, big time. That dude was named appropriately. He was set up from the get-go. As soon as he popped out and they told him his name was Buttigieg, they was like, oh, dude, I'm going to be taking squirts in the butt the rest of my life.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad.
Yep. Set me up for that one.
Oh, my goodness. Seriously, that's like, wow, G. I hate his play. That's a hell of a last name.
And that dude's a prime example because he's completely useless.
Man, it's an attack on the alpha male, man.
Oh, dude, I could find any employee of any fast food restaurant anywhere in the country that knows more about infrastructure than that clown.
Females like to know that the man that they around got a pistol to protect them.
Or something, at least a plan,
Right.
Man. And then, Kerry Washington.
I'm going to be honest with you. Tim Walz looks like that if he was walking through the house in the middle of the night and he saw a mouse, the scream that would come off of this bitch.
Dude, you know what I thought of the first time I saw Tim Walz? Remember the claymation Rudolph? Remember what Santa Claus looked like?
Yeah.
That's Tim Walz, man. The claymation Santa Claus.
Oh, my goodness. But I'm telling you, he looks like he let out the most high-pitched horror scream. Like you remember, have you ever seen that movie, Accepted, where they had the university? It was a college named the letters of it made out shit.
Doesn't ring a bell at all.
Yeah, go watch it. It's a funny fucking movie.
Yeah.
And like the fat guy, like a thing fell out of the ceiling. He let out this high pitched girly scream, and it was like hilarious. Like you couldn't do nothing but laugh like yourself to tears. It was so crazy. But that's what Mr. Walz looks like. He looks like, he's softer than.
Nobody even ever heard of him before now. You know what I mean?
That guy is super soft. I see it. I can feel it. The way he waved. I'm like, you done had you some episodes that you ain't telling nobody about, buddy, in your life.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And then Tim Walz had the audacity to put up a Prince statue or whatever, named straight after him during election time. You could have done that by the time you was a governor, and now you want to.
He did enough. He did enough crooked shit while he was a governor.
Yep, and the George Floyd shit, Kamala, whatever her name is, got them out. The rioters out, while the J6ers are sitting in prison.
You know what? They tripping, but it's people that's voting for this woman that don't know how to pronounce her name. So say it however you feel it, buddy. Don't correct yourself.
Kamala, whatever.
Kamala.
You saw her interview with Benny Johnson, right?
Oh yeah, the lady that sounds just like it. It's
Yeah.
crazy. If you close your eyes, that's what you get. Like, oh
God. Did y'all see that in the chat? Did you see Benny Johnson's interview with Kamala Harris?
No, I didn't.
It was here. Let me bring that up. That was pretty good.
Hey, what does Puppetgate got now?
Nothing lately. I
Nothing
think
since the last show, right?
Yeah.
That was from last week.
Right. Yeah, you know, life be lifing, man. This is summertime, you know. Outdoors kind of start calling your name after a while.
He gets right into this after this little cartoon that he does here.
I want the plug pulled. Yeah.
Hey, he's just taking a nap.
Look at him. Look at him. I've never seen him make that noise ever. Oh, baby. Mama loves you so much.
Kamala, thank you so much for joining us. We deeply appreciate you doing this historic interview here live on the stream.
Benjamin, you know, I'm not very happy with you. What do you mean I have to pay you? I thought I was getting paid. That's why I'm here.
Well, I know this has been something in your past that has quite lifted up your career.
You know, I'm already here, and you know, I brushed my teeth today, so let's get this over with. You know, I'm very busy. I'm watching
sounds
the highlights
so
of
much
the
like
DNC.
her.
You know, this is really important for the election. All right.
Yeah.
So what do you want to know?
Well, I'd like to know why you weren't there last night and why you've been, you know, sort of gone during the DNC, almost like you're ashamed of this cringe fest that's going on.
You know, ashamed is, although appropriate, a strong word. Now, you know, I'll tell you like this. Yeah, it takes a lot to run a country. And I don't know if you noticed, but Joe hasn't been around. So, you know, it's hard to multitask. And that's what we're bringing forth here. You know, I have Nancy and, you know, Michelle running the shots at the DNC so that I can run the country.
So you're running the country right now. That's news.
Absolutely.
Big news. So how can you, in all due respect, Madame Vice President, how can you claim that everything's going to hell in this nation in every one of your campaign speeches, but yet you're in charge? This seems like a major conflict of interest.
Well, you know, this is all Joe Biden's doing. I mean, you know, I wasn't really responsible for anything. I wasn't even, you know, I was told I was going to be responsible for the border, you know, but things just kept happening and I couldn't show up. And it's, you know, they haven't given me a fair time to go. And it's only been 3.5 years. You know, I was planning to go eventually, you know, and after Joe just, you know, he kept on pushing to run for re-election, but you know, we decided that it's my time. So, you know, I have to fix this mess and it'll happen on day one. I've been here all this time, but you know, on day one, we'll fix all of it.
Again, and I don't know why you end every single statement with it.
Yeah, I don't know how much you want to go through this, but I mean, she sounds a lot like Kamala.
That's freaking funnier than hell.
Yeah.
Wow. So basically, man, it's like it's been a circus.
Yeah, it is. It will continue to be.
It's been a circus. It's been very fun, actually. To be look,
Yeah.
since that debate, it's been raucous. I mean, the prelude up to that with the trial and everything has nothing on June 27th up until now. Nothing. Nothing can compare. This particular stretch, if you can ramp it up a bit, I don't know what's going to happen next.
No, I'm still waiting. I keep saying this, man. Just about every show, I'm still waiting for the other shoe to drop, waiting for the aliens to land, waiting to see, what shady kind of crap they're going to try to pull next.
And are you going to let those illegal aliens vote too?
Well, and that's been a big topic of discussion at the Supreme Court this week, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Detroit, man, RNC.
It's coming out. No, it's coming out. No.
Right. Well, which is what it has been. I'm not sure why we're rediscovering the same territory again, because it has been and still is a crime for a non-citizen to vote in a federal election. Now, I understand that the Supreme Courts, this is coming down to states and everything that are trying to enact legislation that is against the will of their people, which is why they're getting caught up in these court cases.
Right.
What is it? Arizona and Virginia, I think, or two of them are going through this right now, and I don't know who all else.
Mm-hmm. California, man, my state, man. Ugh.
Oh my goodness.
They acting like everything is all good. I'm like, everything is not good.
But truth be told, like even on social media, for me, it's not really. I don't see too much Kamala hype like that. I see your diehards, but I don't see it like going crazy.
No, not at all. And I'm actually seeing the exact opposite. And I mean, if you look at a Trump rally, and you go to a Trump rally, yeah, I understand that they got stuff that they hand out, and then they got swag that you can buy and everything else. But dudes, and this is to anybody who is listening that has anything to do with the DNC, if you're going to hand out all the propaganda signs to everybody, break it up a little bit, man. Don't make it so obvious.
Yeah, that you're handing it out to the entire section.
Yeah, mix it up a little. You got to mix the foam fingers with the tall signs and that sort of thing, so it at least looks organic.
Like, I need you to give this to every other person. Give every other person.
It's like, oh, come on,
and mix it up a bit,
Exactly. Just make it, and then, they got people standing outside just watching them bust people into the DNC to fill the seats. And then at the last thing that we saw, or is one of the days during the DNC, it was the first day. It was the one that we covered live. They were closing down all of the bleachers up top and putting down curtains and filling in all the holes down at the bottom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like,
Yeah, because at the RNC, that place was
packed. It was over capacity. They still had people outside. They couldn't get in.
Mm-hmm. Same with the rallies. They couldn't even get in.
Yep.
I'm telling you.
And it was just such to me, and I'm not even being biased, but the electricity wasn't there.
The only electricity I saw all night on night one, the night that we covered live, is when Clinton came out. What's her name? Hillary.
And from there, it kind of fizzled out for everybody else.
Yeah, when Hillary came out to do her speech, they went wild. They made more noise for her than when Joe Biden came out.
Or Barack and Michelle, actually.
Yep, and that was on a different night.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah. And it's so funny, Brock bringing up children in cages, which he's the one that
Exactly.
Nobody don't want to hear that though.
Yeah. Hey, but I was glad to hear him tell that 2025 lie over and over and over again, because that is a real easy thing to go out and just check out for yourself and realize that they're full of shit.
Yeah.
You know,
And the
people
CBS are finally starting to fact check. I'm like, about time.
Yeah, well, even CNN is holding them to task occasionally.
Yeah, because they found out that base that they was getting, they got from that debate. You know, you got a few fans probably that was tuning in to see what they was going to talk about, and then they started losing them again.
Yeah.
So now they like, oh shit, now we got to play a kind of level. You know,
they're running out of cards, man.
Well, yeah, they keep playing the same cards over and over and over again. It's like, dude, how many times I got to tell you? Go fish, man. Go fish.
Man, and it's
Trump has,
crazy.
yep. It's like all the decks is just running out, man. You can't keep pushing the same thing because that's what people gonna realize they full of crap, and a lot of people are seeing that now too.
You know, and like I said, when it comes to, you know, the Republican Party, it just seems like it's just more of a happy spirit around this shit, man.
That's for damn sure. You know,
Yeah.
and listen, it, you know, because it's kind of all of our faults, including mine. Because I can remember a time not too long ago, and oh geez, let's say in early 2000s, you know, and my wife and I, we had an issue with our insurance, and so we went to this, you know, kind of strip mall of offices or whatever, you know, to go talk to the insurance commissioner to see if we could get it, you know, worked out. And we get out of the car, and there is this line, just this line of self-righteous Bible thumpers, you know, doing the whole, you know, these people are as crazy about, you know, anti-abortion as, you know, some of these crazies that you see now, you know, about abortion. And, you know, we get out of the car and they're just giving us the business. Oh, you know, you have an alternative. You could do this. And I'm like, you know, I'm like lambasted. I was like, what in the hell are you people talking about? Oh, well, you know, you're going into the clinic. No, I'm not. Well, she's going. No, she's not. You all need to mind your own damn business. And this just leads up to that pendulum swing that I was talking about. Because for a while, man, that was just, it was too far, way too far. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're in a state, you know, dude, it's got to be, at least for some people, a tough decision. And even though that is not what we were there to do, and in a lot of ways, I kind of support the things that they were saying, it is not their business to stand out on the street and harass people. I don't give a shit what side they're on. You know?
You're damn right about that. Now let's jump into some more footage real quick, but we still got a little bit of time.
Okay, I have a couple of things to share with you that absolutely
shout out to the professor, Mr. Professor Nance. Yes.
Expose the woke mafia media fake news left that is all basically galvanized on Kamala Harris's side for this entire, you know, election cycle. They were on Biden's side, now they're on Kamala's side. They don't care. It's all just one, you know, a cult that basically follows one idiom, one ideology. Doesn't matter how wrong they are, how absolutely adverse to the truth they are. They're just going to follow it blindly. I'm going to show with you a clip of Jonathan Karl from ABC losing his mind against Senator Tom Cotton from Arkansas, and then Bernie Sanders saying, I mean, he says a lot of outlandish things, but this one's pretty bad. But first, fake Tapper putting Cyclops Booker in his place? This one actually kind of shocked me. Check this out.
Democrats made a clear effort at the DNC to frame Vice President Kamala Harris as the candidate of change. Take a listen.
Our nation with this election has a precious, fleeting opportunity, a chance to chart a new way forward.
So I don't know about you. I'm ready to turn the page on these guys. We're not going back.
America's ready for a new chapter. America's ready for a better story.
A new chapter? I mean, she's the incumbent vice president. Democrats have controlled the White House for 12 of the last 16 years. How can Democrats talk about a new chapter turning the page? You guys are the ones writing the book.
Damn.
Well, you know that that's not true, Jay, because you know politics like I do.
Right now, we see the MAGA Republicans in Congress killing all kind of pragmatic policies that we need to get done. On the most contentious issue, we had a bipartisan deal settled on by Senator Lankford, a right-wing Republican, and Chris Murphy, a blue state Democrat. And what killed that deal, what killed the pragmatic progress, wasn't the sensible Republicans, but really people that were kowtowing to Donald Trump.
Hearing Cyclops Booker talk, it's like every one of these hypocrites, they just spew all this regurgitated, premeditated, rehearsed nonsense, a total fabrication and lie, blaming, again, I just had to share that really quick clip, so I'm sorry to cut off Cyclops Booker. He just says the same garbage all the time, especially the part about it was Trump who ruined the bill. He said it. I've been saying it. How long have I been saying this? You guys have had control of this entire government for 12 of the last 16 years. You said Donald Trump over out 315 times at the DNC. You said inflation 5 times. You said the border less than 10 times. You said the Ukrainian war. I don't even think you even said it once. I am very surprised that Fake Tapper actually called them out. And I just wanted to share with you that clip. Okay, speaking of deranged.
Maybe Fake don't want to be fake no more. He want to be Jake again. What y'all think?
Huh? I hope so.
He want to be Jake again. He like, man, I'm sick of this shit. He's like, I'm sick of lying. That was actually a truthful statement. You've had it forever. You're writing a book. What do you mean?
Premeditated, pre-rehearsed momos on the hypocrites. Listen to what Bernie Sanders. This is a guy who literally they stabbed him not in the back, in the front. This is a guy who was gaining so much momentum in the 2020 primary. And once the powers that be, the Obama-Clinton consortium, started to see that, oh my God, this guy's getting ahead. We can't have this. He's too far, far, far. What do? They ousted. He admitted this on the Theo Von podcast. He literally admitted this. And then now watch this chump. Watch this absolute LAD. Watch this hypocrite fall right in line. It's just, there's no critical thinking. There is no dissension from the money machine. They cannot resist the ATM of Obama, Clinton, the coalition, the Soroses. They can't. Listen to this.
All right, let me ask you about the convention. What was your take on the messaging from Kamala Harris in Chicago?
Well, I think the energy coming out of that convention was very high. I think it's going to be a rough campaign. I think the vice president now has a very good chance to win it. She's certainly going to win the popular vote by millions of votes, and I think she has a great chance to win many of the battleground states, and I intend to do everything that I can to see that she wins. My own guess is, Jonathan, that I think people are growing tired and fatigued with Trump's consistent and outrageous lies.
Oh my God!
Because you guys tell the truth.
No matter what people may think of Kamala Harris, I think they want stability in the White House. They want somebody who they can trust, and I think they understand that it's not the person that Donald Trump is.
They want stability? Kamala Harris is symbolic of stability? She had one job, one freaking job in 4 years, and that was border czar, and we have the worst border crisis in the history of our country. She represents stability. She lied for 4 years, especially the last 18 months, about the president's condition. She said she was around him every single day. Either she's completely dumb as a whip, imperceptive, has zero cognitive abilities herself, a total drunk, or she's an LAD, a lion-ass dog, which we all know that most of these hypocrites are. That's stability? Somebody who was the district attorney of San Francisco? San Francisco is now a dystopia. She was the attorney general of California in cahoots, in close confidence with Gavin Newsom. California has the largest budget deficit in the history of the state. We have the largest crime waves in the history of the state. We have the largest illegal boarding crossings in the
You can attest to this shit, can't you?
history of the state. We have the largest gas prices, taxes in the history of the state. And we also have the largest exodus of businesses, small businesses, and residents in the history of the state. That's stability, Bernie? What the hell are you smoking? It just drives me absolutely nuts. Okay, this one is, to me, really where the left media that, again, has shown such favoritism to Kamala. Where literally just 3-4 weeks ago, they said she was the worst thing that ever happened. She's completely out of it. She shouldn't be vice president. Literally not that long ago, they were telling Biden back in the day, a couple of years ago, you should drop her. Think about dropping her. She was the most unpopular candidate. She dropped out of the primary in 2020 before Iowa. She was last place, zero approval, zero popularity. And now watch, this to me is real exposure right here. Watch Jonathan Karl literally fight tooth and nail to defend Kamala Harris against Tom Cotton from Arkansas. Check this out.
And President Trump is going to draw a sharp contrast with Kamala Harris, who has supported things like decriminalizing illegal immigration or giving taxpayer-funded health insurance to illegal aliens or taking away health insurance on the job for 170 million Americans, banning gas cars, confiscating firearms.
What do you mean taking away health insurance? What are you talking about?
She said when she ran for president that she wants to eliminate private health insurance on the job for 170 million Americans, John.
Yeah, I mean that is not her position now.
How do you know that's not her position? How do you know that's not her position?
I mean, she says she no longer supports Medicare for all.
She has not said that. Okay. Maybe anonymous aides on a Friday night have said that, but the last thing that she said.
But this was not a radical convention. I mean, she as you heard me go through with Bernie Sanders, she is not taking the positions of the far left of her party. She's clearly making an effort to move to the middle.
I did hear what you said to Senator Sanders.
She'll say anything.
I thought it was clear that he's very disappointed that she's taking these efforts not to change her positions, but to hide her positions, John. The American people are totally justified to conclude that Kamala Harris is a dangerous San Francisco liberal based on what she campaigned on the last time she ran for president and what this administration has done for the last 4 years. Again, you would have thought watching the Democratic convention last week that the Democrats are not in office, that they're not in power, that they're campaigning against an incumbent Republican, when in reality, she's been part of the failures of the Biden-Harris administration for 4 years. And when she campaigned for president in her own right, she did in fact promise things like decriminalizing illegal immigration and taking away health insurance.
But that's his position she's clearly changed on, and she has said she has changed. Yes, she has.
What, by the drop of a hat? Where is the objective reporting? Where is the unbiased, equivocal neutrality that...
That was a terrible interview, actually.
That was Tom Cotton, right?
Uh-huh.
I figured,
horrible. Horrible.
Oh, man.
What in the world was that about? You know,
they sure don't like Tom Cotton on there either. Huh.
I mean, so basically, I feel like at this point, the DNC didn't even happen. It don't even matter no more.
Yeah, it was a shit show. I don't want to give a damn about that.
It don't even matter no more. Ain't nobody gonna be talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
At all.
I've heard Brother RNC.
What we about to start talking about is this debate that's gonna come up.
Oh yeah, Trump gonna smoke her.
Man, like a Swisher sweet stuff with some snowball white gelato.
Man, he gonna put everything out there.
Man, yeah, ABC, NBC, CBS, it don't matter. Trump used to going into the belly of the beast and coming out on top, and that's exactly what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. He gonna expose her her BS. Oh man.
Mm-hmm. You been in office how long?
She's a part of the swamp. She's a part of the swamp anyway.
Yeah, hell yeah. She doesn't have a mind of her own.
Definitely a swamp thing. And you know, I'll actually propose this to noobs because we have real conversations. And I'm like, you know, for my black people who is capping for Kamala, let's just say that she is black by, you know, what slave owners and racists used to tell us. If you got one drop, then you're diluted and you're black. One drop. So you can see it's just about maybe 1-2 drops, okay? You know, of dye in there. So think about this. If it was 1824 And we was all slaves on the plantation, and Kamala was one of those slaves. Where would she be?
Yeah, exactly.
Where would she be?
Wherever the snitches hang out. That's where.
Basically.
Looking
Yep.
out for herself
Mm-hmm.
and pretty much doing the same thing she was doing to get her way to the top.
Yup.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that may be.
Mm-hmm.
We all know that, but we yeah, whatever that may be anyway.
Whatever that may be.
Yeah, everybody can make up their own mind what they think that looks like. For sure. Yeah.
Whatever that may be.
It's crazy that CNN brought Montel Williams on their show. I'm like, dang.
Yeah, let's go find some of her ex-penis and bring it up here so he can comment. Montel, you've been knowing her for years. Used to knock the bottom out of this shit. So, what you think about? They kill me.
And I stumbled across.
I think, yeah, she gonna only do one debate because she finna get murked.
And you know what? I just wonder if there's going to be an excuse to avoid the debate from that.
Yeah,
side.
because she didn't want to do it on Fox. I'm like,
so we got 5 days until she's supposed to interview.
Yep, and so is this when the other shoe drops? Is this when the aliens land? I don't know.
I mean, she's supposed to interview by the end of the month.
Let's see if she really do it at the end of the month.
I'm talking about if she don't, it's gonna be problems.
Mm-hmm.
There's gonna be issues if she don't get out there and interview.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be problems if she does.
The media's starting to turn on her.
Yeah, and so, what's the lesser of two evils if you're Kamala's handler? Letting her out there to run her jaw or to keep her in the basement as much as possible.
Yep.
If the media turns on her, it's over.
Mm-hmm. And they're gonna need to apologize to Trump. Period.
They won't.
The media used to love that.
That's one of the next crazy things that could actually happen. That the media could literally turn on her.
Yeah, it won't make them pro-Trump, I don't think, though. It'll just make them,
It will make a lot of people pro-Trump.
Oh, no, I agree with that. I just don't think the media will be pro-Trump. You know how they always, even when he does something good, they got to try to talk around it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because someday they're gonna have to confess.
He's actually had some of his greatest iconic moments in this presidential campaign. I'm talking about as a human being. Like seriously, like he's cemented his legacy in a good way to me.
Mm-hmm.
Certain things that would have drove the average man insane. He's endured with no problems. And if they assume that, he's doing this for himself. Ain't nobody gonna be risking going to jail just because. But yeah, you screw around and throw him in that box.
Yeah.
And just wait and see what happens.
Yeah, on all of this fake garbage that they've got,
Just wait and see what happens. It's going to be. I mean, they might have to just shut Washington D.C. down. No entry into the city, into the district, because people will swarm that place from everywhere.
Yeah.
Because
it's not going to look good for them.
It's just not smart.
No, it's not. And they know it's not smart.
I'm not too sure about that.
They know what the hell they doing.
Who?
The Democrats?
Yeah.
Oh no, they're flying by the seat of their pants, dude.
They're
It
not
ain't
smart.
gonna work. I call them demon rags.
They've been working against themselves the moment they decided to
Oh my
indict the
goodness.
The moment
Yeah.
they decided to indict the man, they've been working against themselves. Because the more that comes out about it, it's like, what? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And they think he has a MAGA base, which he does. But it's expanded so much.
Oh yeah. A lot of youngins, they getting in it too.
Yeah.
Everybody's
And you know, it's time to go back to where, I didn't. You know what? We had bullies and stuff in school, and we handled it. If we didn't handle it, that was on you, buddy. We had. I'm not saying. We had alpha dogs in school. People who. And then you had your weak, and the strong had to survive. That's you. You know what? The weak is really desperately trying to survive, and they don't realize that the strong survive. You better get strong, get your weight up. Stop whining about everything. Because people whine a lot.
Yeah, for no reason.
People whine a lot. And it's a victim mentality that's going on inside of our world that is truly killing us, man. The victim mentality is running wild, and people will take on other people's victimization because a lot of these people that are pro-abortion probably never would have an abortion if they ever got pregnant.
They're gonna be like, I'm gonna have this baby. Yeah, you
Absolutely, because something cuts on in you for some people.
That's murder. You ain't murdering my child. We're gonna have this baby, we're gonna raise it.
Because you're not, and like they keep on talking about a national abortion ban. They're lying so hard because he gave it to the states. That was what he wanted.
Yeah.
And he didn't do it.
Right. The Supreme Court justices did it.
Well, the Constitution did it because, the last time this was decided on, they pulled some bullshit out of thin air and said that the Constitution said something that it plainly does not say. There's no guarantee, in the Constitution. It wasn't even a thing that was on their minds when the Constitution was written, and so I don't see how people can even make that argument.
Because I don't think they had the technology to be aborting babies back in the 1700s.
Well, they did. They did, because, we don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of all of that, but it wasn't.
It wasn't pretty.
Kamala keeps bringing that BS up about national abortion ban. He never said that. She know he never said it.
Yeah. Yep. Never said it. Never said
They
it.
all know it.
And they try to make it out like as soon as he becomes the president, he's just going to ban it for everybody. That's again, that's some bullshit that somebody, invented. Doesn't have anything to do with Trump.
But hey, I'll say this: nice try with the Central Park 5, but that shit ain't working either.
Nope, that's not working. Yep, and the
We know the
Project
truth about
2025 ain't working either. Because
and dictatorship, that's not working either.
No, yeah, really, especially now that Kennedy has joined with Trump because he just laid it all out for him.
My goodness. It's a strong coalition, man. And the more I know, the more, and I've noticed the more you see of Vivek Noobs, I think the more you kind of like him a little bit.
Well, now it's not that I dislike him, and it's never been about like or dislike. It's just that this guy just popped up out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden, he's on the a possible to become a presidential candidate. I just don't think that dude is there yet,
I see it in him, though. I really see it in him. Somewhere in politics, he has a place.
Yeah. Absolutely. And listen,
in the health bill,
if he continues to do the things that he says he wants to do, and that sort of deal, through the Trump presidency, then I would have a lot more confidence in Vivek. You know what I'm saying? And so if he serves and, he's already, pledged to serve, and I guess he's been offered a job already, within
In the
the
Trump
Trump
administration.
Exactly. And
But
so,
we knew he had that job months ago.
well, no, that what I'm saying though is that, once he completes that step, and if he actually walks the walk and doesn't just talk the talk, then I'll have a lot more confidence
Right.
in
And
a Vivek president.
the thing of it is, what's really kind of cool about it, you literally have to wow Donald Trump right in front of his face in order for him to. If you kind of see him say "wow," just
Exactly.
like with Michaela Montgomery, I knew for a fact. I'm like, yeah, she's going to be with him now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Now I will say that when, not just when, but when and in the manner that Vivek dropped out of the presidential candidacy, that was huge brownie points for me. Because, that tells me that he believes a lot in the things that he is saying. Now,
Right.
of course, the other side of that is that, he had no prayer of beating Trump whatsoever. And so it was the wise decision to make. But still, there's lots of times that people are given opportunities to make the wise decisions and don't.
Yeah, because
And
Nikki
so,
Haley was an entire debacle, and she almost ruined the political.
exactly.
She
That's a
almost ruined her
perfect,
career.
perfect example. Perfect example.
She
And
almost
so,
ruined the political career.
yeah. And so that was big points.
And Vivek Ramaswamy is only in his late 30s, so he got a lot of time.
I know. And he's a smart guy. We know he's a smart guy, and so that's never been a question for me either.
And you know what? I kind of, that's one of the things that I like about JD Vance. Like in his interviews, Vivek still comes off as, I don't know. He'll get you. He's a little strong. And that might not resonate well. His opinions are very, very strong. He don't know how to word it. I think that JD Vance has a better advantage at that.
Well, and I think JD surprised everybody because he was kind of like a mushroom before he accepted the nomination to be vice president. And then he was just like a turtle that came out of his shell.
Yeah. And let's not forget when he was walking by Kamala's plane. It's like, well, that's going to be my future plane.
Dude, that was a fucking G move right there, dude.
Yeah, he's been gaining my respect moment for moment.
Yep. I mean, that looked like the opening scene of The Right Stuff. That dude marching down the ramp with his entourage towards Kamala's airplane.
Right. And it's so crazy that they call things like that now weird and strange. And
well, no, that doesn't surprise. I mean, it doesn't surprise you either, because what else do they have?
Right.
I mean, and then when it just sprawls from like network to network to network and you hear them all, I mean, everybody knew it was a put on the first night because everybody was saying the same thing at the same times. It's like, man, y'all need to find a new trick because, people are getting wise to this shit.
Weird. I'm like, aren't you guys weird?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's all these people who, they're not sure if they're men or women or whatever that are calling JD Vance weird.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Make that make sense.
It's never going to make sense. But what's going to make sense right now that we are 2 hours in and it is now time for us to go. I know I missed Wednesday, but I promise you this Wednesday we will not miss. Make sure, like I said, if it's your first time in or you're just in the bushes and you haven't liked, shared, and subscribed, do so. Shout out to my people on X. Shout out to those on Rumble and YouTube. And on that note, Mr. Yellow Beezy, it was a pleasure having you.
Oh, man, you already know. And I already shared it on Facebook, so.
Oh, most definitely. And, of course, Noobs, you already know we do what we do when we do it. So on that note, y'all, I love you. Everybody in the chat, man, thank you for being there and doing your thing. And we are out of here.
How long before we start up the movement? How long we gon' keep letting them do us? How long before we start up the movement? How long we gon' keep letting them do us? How long before we say fuck this piece shit and grab them clappers? How long before we lose our voices shouting Black Lives Matter? How long we gon' keep letting them disrespect our president? How long we gon' keep letting them terrorize our residents? I'm sick of this shit. It's word to Bernie Mac. How long before we police ourselves, take our own streets back? How long for Uncle Tom here and hate on this shit? How long before they take a shot at me for making this shit? How long I gotta wait for justice for Josiah Shaw? How long we gotta fake it till we can take it and whack them all? How long we not gonna make these youngers pull their pants up? How long we gonna keep letting them shoot us down with our hands up? How long we gonna keep killing our own and making these streets hot? How long will what I say to you stay with you when the beats stop? How long's your attention span? How long you watch the news? You ain't down to shake shit up with the rebels for the cause? I ain't talking to you.